Hey, welcome back everyone. I honestly think Bitcoin is currently sitting at one of the most important levels we have seen in this entire cycle. And if Bitcoin is going to print a major bottom anywhere, this is exactly where I would expect it to happen. Now, let me show you why. Because only a few hours ago, Bitcoin touched a level that has historically marked every major bear market bottom. And no, I'm not talking about a random support line, I'm talking about the 200-week moving average, a level that Bitcoin has only touched a handful of times in its entire history. And every single time, something very interesting happened afterwards. But later in the video, I want to show you an on-chain metric that is currently sitting at the second lowest reading in Bitcoin history. Because when I saw that number, it honestly got my attention immediately. So let's right now zoom out, because the 200-week EMA isn't just another moving average. This is arguably the most important support level Bitcoin has ever had. And what you're going to notice is very interesting. Back in March 2020, during the COVID crash, Bitcoin touched the 200-week EMA that ended up being the bottom. Then we had the 2022 capitulation. Bitcoin touched the same level again, and shortly afterwards the market recovered. Then we had the FTX collapse. Once again, Bitcoin touched the 200-week EMA, and once again that marked the cycle low. Now here we are today. Bitcoin has returned to exactly the same area, and that's why traders all over the market are watching this level very closely. Now, of course, this does not guarantee a reversal. Nothing in trading is guaranteed, but historically speaking, this is exactly where Bitcoin has started forming bottoms. And this is why I think this area deserves attention. Now, real quick, if you're actively trading this volatility, I personally recommend being fully set up before the market starts moving. I use Bitunix, no KYC, fast deposits. Link is in the description and pinned in the comments. Now, let's continue because the next metric is honestly even more interesting. Now, let's talk about the MVRVZ score, and this is where things get very interesting. Current reading is 0.32. Now, if you're not familiar with MVRV, don't worry. The idea is simple. It measures how overvalued or undervalued Bitcoin is compared to the average holder's cost basis. Historically, extremely high readings happen near market tops, extremely low readings happen near market bottoms. And right now, we're sitting at 0.32, the second lowest reading in Bitcoin's entire history. The only lower reading happened during the FTX collapse, literally the bottom of the 2022 bear market. Think about that. Bitcoin is currently trading at a valuation level that has only been seen once before. And that's exactly why many analysts are starting to pay attention, because historically these readings have not happened near market tops, they have happened near market lows. Now let's add another piece of the puzzle, fear and greed. Current reading is 8, extreme fear. And what's interesting is that similar readings happened during COVID crash, FTX collapse, and even major capitulation events. In other words, the market is terrified. And from a contrarian perspective, that tends to be where opportunities appear. Because historically speaking, markets don't usually bottom when everyone feels great. Markets bottom when people are convinced prices will continue lower. And right now, that is exactly the sentiment we are seeing. Now, there are 3 specific conditions traders are watching for the next major move higher. Condition number 1, hyper liquid whale positioning, bullish. Condition number 2, Bitfinex long positioning, also bullish. Condition number 3, on the other hand, Coinbase premium. This one is still missing, and this is the important one because the Coinbase premium tells us whether US buyers are stepping back into the market. Right now, it's still negative, meaning demand remains weak, but if that flips positive, it could become the final confirmation many traders are waiting for. So currently, 2 out of 3 conditions are already in place, only 1 remains. Now, let's talk about the risk, because there absolutely is one. The bullish case is simple. Bitcoin holds the 200-week EMA, we build a base, and eventually move back toward the 200-day EMA, currently sitting around $79,000. But the bearish scenario is also clear. If Bitcoin closes the week below the 200-week EMA, that opens the door for a move towards $60,000. And that's the level many analysts are watching as the next major support. So right now, this weekly candle matters more than anything else. Not the daily chart, not the hourly chart, the weekly close. That is the signal. So let's recap real quick. Bitcoin just touched the 200-week EMA. MVRV is at one of the lowest readings ever recorded. Fear and greed is sitting at extreme fear, and 2 of the 3 major bullish conditions are already in place. Now, does that guarantee the bottom is in? No, but this is exactly the type of setup that has appeared near major major Bitcoin lows throughout history. For me, the weekly close is everything. If the 200-week EMA holds, history says this area deserves respect. If it breaks on a weekly close, then 60,000 becomes the next level to watch. Let me know what you think down below. Do you think Bitcoin has already found its bottom, or do you think one more flush lower is coming? Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.